Hello! Hello, hello, hello! Right, are we live? It's that time of day where I need to find out if we are live. Let me put the volume up, always a good plan. Bum, bum, bum. Suddenly I get notifications on my phone. Bum, bum. Let me just say it is a vile day here today. Just thought I'd mention that. Yes, I am live and there are people watching. So when you join, I would love to know where you're joining from. Obviously, we'd like to know who you are, but if you let me know where you're joining from, that will deal with that, because you will see, I will see who you are. Right. So I'm just going to take a glug of coffee. So Baz is here and it's raining in Leicestershire. Renee is here. Lorna is here. Glad I'm loud and clear. So yes, today is a coffee day. Today I need coffee. I have actually done some prep, which is just frightening. So yes, dull day in Chester. Yeah, we've got a really, what I would only describe as a miserable day. It's not really raining and it's not really not. It's just damp and horrible and just not very nice. So yes, Renee is in Australia, in Queensland, and it's 9 p.m. Now, is it normally 9 p.m. when you join, Renee? Because our clocks change, so I'm a bit confused as to where has and where hasn't. Lorna has already shared. Thank you very much. Claire is joining from a rainy Yorkshire. Jan is joining from a miserable Wheatley, because Wheatley is the other side of a hill from where I am, so not surprised by that. Not very often I can join you. No, I know, Baz. Nice to see you. Thank you for your... well, thank you for that. And for sharing it. So yes, I'm using my new Stampin' Up coffee mug, which is amazing. It keeps my coffee hot for such a long time. I actually managed to drink it while it's still hot, and I take a couple of hours to actually drink it. So yes, really frightening. I have done some prep today, so it's bound to be a disaster. So it was 8 p.m. That's what I thought. So our clocks went back, Renee. I don't know if yours are going back at any point or forward or goodness knows. It's one of those really weird things. Thank you for sharing. One of those really weird things about when clocks change. So we do change in line with the rest of Europe. Don't know if that's going to continue next year. We'll find out next year, because that's when we officially leave the EU. That'll be another exciting year for all the wrong reasons, I have no doubt. You're getting one next week, are you, Baz? Excellent. Using your vouchers. Excellent. Thank you, Claire, for sharing. I can highly recommend these. All I would say is I'm just trying to work out how to effectively clean the straw. I need to get some very long pipe cleaners, I think, because I mean it is stainless steel and I've been leaving it to soak and stuff, so I'm the only one who uses it, so you know. But I'm sure someone must make a stainless steel straw cleaner. But yes, so where was I? What was I saying? No idea. Can't have been important. No, I've planned. Yes. So, oh, sorry, I've just spotted one of our cats dashing. I have no idea why he's dashing. He doesn't normally dash anywhere. He's not that sort of cat. So yes, thank you all for sharing. Now, I'm going to say a couple of things. You can buy them now. What, the mugs? They are a demo. They are a demonstrator perk, I'm afraid, Claire. They are only available to demos. So we have a whole range of logoed items. Morning, Audrey. Frosty start. Oh, okay. And now sunshine. Woohoo! Absolutely. Woo! Yeah, can't remember. Well, we did have some sunshine yesterday. It was supposed to be dry all day, and then it poured with rain for about 5 minutes. Weird. You stay the same time all the year round. Oh, that's what I was talking about. Yes, straw cleaners. Oh, you can buy them. Thank you, Claire. Right, I'm going to go to Amazon and I'm going to find straw cleaners. Because I do so much shopping on Amazon. And I bought some Amazon vouchers with my flex points. So we used to be able to get, as demonstrators, we could earn flex points, for those of you who are not demonstrators, and you could convert them into a variety of things, including Amazon vouchers. So I have some Amazon vouchers. Hi, Jackie. So yes, straw cleaners, absolutely. So, but I was saying something else as well. My brain is just not coping with this whole COVID thing, I think. I mean, I've not had COVID, but I think it's just because we don't get the external interaction as much. My brain just ends up going to mush. It was fine for a long while, and now it's just mush. Anyway, so I have planned. So it is going to be frighteningly disorganized, I have no doubt. But just saw your cat washing. Yes, I know, but that wasn't what I was saying. That distracted me, Audrey. Anyway, I am just going to say a few things about, general housekeeping. So, this is a Facebook Live. It's Tuesday the 27th of October. See, I told you it was a nightmare for me at the moment. My brain is scrambled. So Tuesday the 27th of October. If you're watching this on Facebook at about 11 o'clock UK time, you may be joining live. Hello, Monique, joining from the Netherlands. Yes, there is also the clue that, and let's see if I get this the right way, if there is a live box in the top right-hand corner that says live on a red background, then we're live. If you're watching on Facebook and it's not there, we're not, and you're watching a replay. If you're watching on YouTube, it's a replay because this is a Facebook Live. Hello, Nora from Ireland. Rose from Australia. It's cold night. Ooh, okay. So yes, the other thing I just want to say is I had a comment on my last Facebook Live replay last week on YouTube asking if I could get the camera closer to my work surface, and the answer is no, I can't, because I'm using a webcam. I am trying a system which one of the other demos uses, a thing called Labstream's OBS, which is great when it works properly. And I've got it all set up, raring to go. And when I did my last test, I got all sorts of weird messages that they might as well have been in Chinese because I had no idea what they meant. But if I can get it working, it means I can zoom in. But I've got a static webcam. So for my Facebook Lives, I will try and remember to pick things up so you can see them more closely, but I can't get any closer. As it is, my camera is kind of at that level. If I have it any lower, I'm not going to have room to do anything. So, yeah. A wet Devon. Hello, Carol. So, yes, I will do my best, but I can't. And as I say, I am still trying to work out how to get this Streamlabs thing working successfully and consistently, because sometimes it has worked and sometimes it hasn't. And once I get that ironed out, I'll be able to do picture in picture, I'll be able to zoom, I'll be able to do all sorts of exciting things. But at the moment, I'm on a webcam. I could use my phone, but that just is I've tried using my phone before and it's just a nightmare. So not using my phone. We are stuck with the webcam. So just so that people know, I have explained to this particular lady that there isn't anything I can do. And then she thanked me for the next video being closer, but that's because it was one of my normal videos that I use a camera on, which gets closer because it's got a wider field of vision or something. I don't know. Anyway, it just is closer and I can zoom it in. I need another drink. So I have to say I had a conversation with one of my team yesterday, and then she messaged me afterwards to thank me for spending some time with her. we were doing some coaching stuff. And she said, I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. So she may join. She hasn't joined yet, but so she may join. At which point I went, I haven't actually planned anything yet. And at that point I went, I know what I'll use. And then overnight I completely changed my mind. So we are using, partly because it's currently on low inventory, and partly because I haven't inked it up yet, the In the Pines stamp set. Well, actually more the bundle, or more the dies. Let me grab them. So the dies are called Pinewood Dies. Let me grab them and show them to you. This is where they will fall off the bits of sticky. So these are the Pinewood Dies. So there's quite a few that go with the stamps, and quite a few that you can use in isolation. And I'm mostly looking at using them in isolation. I may actually only use them in isolation. We will wait and see how the mood takes me. Lorraine Douglas from Victoria, Australia. 40 degrees in Vermont. Is that Fahrenheit or centigrade, Marilyn? Because it makes quite a difference. If it's 40 degrees centigrade, that's incredibly hot. If it's 40 degrees Fahrenheit, that's quite chilly. So yes, does make a difference. I think you're in Fahrenheit in the States, so that's chilly. Now, who was it? I saw a post yesterday from one of the US demonstrators who said they got snow already in October, which was a surprise. So, right, so In the Pines, I may use the two sentiments. One is Thinking of You and one is Season's Greetings. I may not. I haven't decided. I've done lots of die cutting in some slightly odd colours, as in non-traditional colours. If I need any more sentiments, I will be using Itty Bitty Christmas. Not least of all because I've had it for a while and I finally got around to putting the stickers on the back. I had a session with that. So, and here's a miracle. I've got my new chamois. I'm going to be using it for the first time today, assuming I ink anything up. So I'm going to flip you round and then we're going to get started. As I say, I have planned, which probably means that things are going to go completely off script because I'm not very good at planning. I'm better at doing things on the spur of the moment. But anyway, right, so I'll pop those there. I've got my raffle prizes sorted out. I've got adhesive. Jan is clapping. Oh, because I'm using my chamois, probably. Right, okay, so I'm going to flip you round and then we will get started. So I'm going to use my really expensive camera cover, bits of washi tape, to hopefully make it slightly less dizzy making. Whoops, it's coming off. Don't want it to come off yet. Oh no, and I don't want it to unscrew. Okay, because you're unscrewing rather than just turning at the moment. Not a good thing. Don't want you unscrewing. Right, let's see how that is. Oh, not bad. Not bad. A little bit skew width, so we'll straighten you out a bit. But yes, unfortunately, I can't zoom with this. Yes, I don't think I can. No, can't zoom. I had a quick look, can't zoom. Thanks, Audrey. You'll hold my hand when I first use it. So I have got all sorts of, I've mostly used the small die cut tree, but not exclusively. So I'm going to start with one that I have actually sort of prepped, as in I've got bits sticking together. I do need to do some trimming, but yes. So I have started with an outline. Let me get the dies again, because I want to explain. Let me find the dies. There we are. So let me explain these, cause. So we have this die, which does, where's the stamp set? buried already. So this die will die cut this tree and this tree. This tree will stamp into this tree. It's meant to be shared. I forgot to say, do remember to share. If you share, you get entered into a draw for a prize, and I'll talk about what the prize is later. And if you share on YouTube and Facebook, you get 2 entries. So yes, this is a watercolor which will stamp into here. Snap, snap, and snap. There is this die, which will, let me bring it up so that you can see it. This die cuts this tree and obviously the watercolor version, but it also can be die cut on its own, obviously. This die will die cut this tree or these trees, but it will also die cut the outside for this, which is what I've used for the first card. And then we've got this, which is just an outline. I mean, it's a detailed outline. But yeah, so there are dies for each of these trees, plus some extras is basically what I'm saying. Plus we've got the snowbanks. So there's quite a lot of things you can do with the die set. It's not just a straight die set. So it's not just cutting out the stamped images, but it does do all of the stamped images. So that is that. So I have die cut using the red and green foil, the outline, and also the outline and the detailed. So this you run through twice. Whether you do the detailed first or the outline first, personally I did the solid and then I did the detailed because it seemed easier to keep it together that way. So that's what I've done. Then I've taken one of the card fronts from the Tis the Season, no, the Most Wonderful Time product medley refill. So this is one of the card fronts, which I am going to have to cut down because these are made for North American cardstock. Never apologise for being late, Jane. You're not late. There is no early or late, but thank you for joining us. So yes, so this I'm going to cut down. Now, there is some debate as to what red this is. I've done quite a bit of testing on what red it is, and I'm pretty comfortable. This is a very old colour sheet, but I'm fairly comfortable that real red goes. This doesn't have Poppy Parade in it, but it's never going to be Poppy Parade. So it's sorry, wrong one. No, right one. So this is, let me bring it up. Let me remember. So this is Cherry Cobbler, which I don't think is right. And then back in the day, Real Red was in the brights. This I think is nearer. I'm not going to have them next to each other, so it's going to be fine. But I am going to use a Real Red matte for my matte. I've even tried it against Lovely Lipstick, which was an old colour. It was an old in colour, and that is not right either. I thought it was until I tried it, and it was so not. So I've got a Real Red matte. So what I need to do now is cut this down so that it's the right size. So I'm going to grab a ruler so that I've got roughly the same size all the way around. So I'm going to be at, I think, 3.5 inches. 3.5 inches I can do with my little chopper. So 3.5 inches, that's 3.5. So my little chopper. Yeah, it's not perfect. I'm going to trim a teeny weeny bit off the bottom. I shouldn't have taken quite so much. Oops. Now these are one-sided, so it makes choosing which side to use really easy. That's better. Right, okay, so these are 5 inches long. So I don't know, I'll work out what the measurements are and add them to the blog post, because as ever I will put this onto a blog post. So we've got our layers, we've got our tree, we've got a black because I wanted that stark black behind, and I think I'm going to go for a black card base. Let's see if I've got a black card base cut. I probably won't have, knowing my luck. Nope, but that's easy. So, basic black. Gosh, I've got to open a new pack of basic black. Woo! Morning Bee. You haven't missed much. I've literally just sort of got started. Right, so piece of basic black cardstock. There's a certain, I really like when I open a new packet of cardstock. I don't know why, but I do. Okay, so I'm going to have this as a top folding card. So I'm going to score this at 14.8 and a bit centimeters. I know, really accurate. A4 cardstock is 21 centimeters wide, but a really odd measurement up and down. It's 29.7 or something. So it's really odd. Thank you for sharing, B. So yes, right. So one card base, bone folder. Excuse me while I stretch across because I now have a home for everything, so I know where it is. Well, I know where it starts the day anyway. So yes, so we're going to go like that. And let's see, do I want to add anything? Hum. Can't decide. Do I? I wonder. Because the green is a really odd green as well. It's not that far off. Shaded spruce. It kind of goes. So I'm going to use some shaded spruce. Because I can. So I haven't used much of this because it's quite wide. It's not something I instantly grab for because it kind of dominates the card, but I think it might work. So first thing I'm going to do is tell you that I've cheated with this because I've got adhesive strip on the back. So let me take that off, and this is where I'm now going to shake dreadfully. This is actually slightly larger than the red, as in it's, for some reason it seems to end up slightly wider, and it shouldn't because it's die cut with the same die. But let's have a look. There we go. Right, I'm going to turn it over, just make sure that everything's reasonably well lined up, and then I'm going to rub from the back to get it to stick well. So this is what we've got, which is lovely and red and green and shiny. The red on its own I think is too much, and the green on its own I think is too much, but put them together and it actually kind of works, particularly if you keep everything else reasonably muted. So this I'm going to pop on here, and I'm going to go for a, this is going to be a large letter, guys, because I'm going to use dimensionals both behind here and behind here. So just accept this is a large letter. Right, now I already have a piece of black dimensional that is cut from the side of the mini strip of the black mini dimensionals. They come in a pack with both black and white, with both large and small. So yes, and it does mean you probably tend to end up with more of the small ones left, because obviously you get more small ones. So just be aware of that. Let me bring in my little tin and take those off. But because I'm going on to black, I like to use black. So if I'm using a dark colour anywhere, I'm tending to use the black dimensionals. And then again, I'm going to pull this up so it's a bit nearer to you. That's going to go. Oh, it's now really windy. I'm supposed to be going running later. The weather really isn't helping. Bring on the winter, at least then it'll be cold and dry rather than miserable. Anyway, so there we go. That's that's where we are. If I put it there, that's probably the best, because then you've got, because there's a light just here. So if I bring it up too far, we're out of the light. But yeah, so, right. Okay, so this I'm going to add, do I want it to go across both layers or just the one? That's the question. I think both layers. And I'm going to have everything up. So this is going to be up. And I may put a sentiment here. I haven't decided yet. But I'm not great at central. I think central looks wrong. I would rather have things slightly up from the bottom, particularly because our card is that bit narrower. I've had someone on, I think it was on YouTube, saying, could I please, thank you, Carol, could I please stop saying Americans are short and fat? She did say that quite a lot of them are, but could I stop saying it? Because I keep saying, of course, in North America, you're short and fat, meaning your cardstock. But yeah, so ours is longer and thinner, I think, is what I'm trying to say. But it does mean, therefore, that you need to act within that. So for something that's long and thin, being up looks better. If I took a bit off the bottom, being central probably would look better. Do you understand what I mean? Hopefully you do. But because I'm on that long thin, I will be using the push it up theory. Right, that looks about right. So if I turn that over, so this is how I get my ribbon as straight as I can. So I line up on my grid paper and then line up my ribbon on a straight line across the grid paper so that it's, might come, do I want to come up one? No, I think that'll be about right. So yes, tall and thin. I'd like to be tall and thin. I'm not. I'm taller than you are, Baz, but I'm still not what I would call tall. And I have got a little bit of a wider waist than I used to have. This is the wrong one. I wanted this one. Not doing exercise at the beginning of lockdown was my downfall, really. So yes, I'm using the, I think the eye prefers a longer space. Yeah, oh, absolutely, Lorna. They do that. So, right, what I'm reacting to is that picture framers put a wider gap at the bottom. On the mount in particular. So if you're having a picture mounted before it's framed, the bottom of the mount will be a little wider. It's also why, if you look at things like a Polaroid, which obviously has that wide bit at the bottom, you know, in the good old-fashioned Polaroids, and we kind of liked it because it followed that whole having it wider at the bottom. So yeah, although it was kind of weird. So I've put, I keep wanting to call it Fast Fuse, Seal Plus over the ribbon as well as underneath, because then it will seal it nicely. And then the rest I'm going to stick down with multi-purpose adhesive, just a scribble, and then pop that onto my card base. But I like the liquid because it does give you that wiggle room, which if you're anything like me, you kind of need that bit of wiggle room. So that's where we are. Pop the lid on there, and then this I'm going to pop up again. I'm going to use black dimensionals. I should probably use small ones just so that I use them, but that really is going to be like watching paint dry. So I'll use, I will use large ones. So, and that I want to have reasonably central. Yep, not bad. It's not totally central, but it's good enough. Right, okay, so I'm thinking I'm going to put a sentiment on just here. I just want to grab and see. Do I or do I not want a sentiment? No, I've decided against it. So I'll have a sentiment on the inside. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I am useless at writing in cards, so I don't put my liners in until I write them. I guess I could get it ready to go, couldn't I? So let's get it ready to go. So one liner, pre-cut, and shall I use that or shall I use one of these? I quite like Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So I'm going to go Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I think a C block will be big enough. Yes, it will. You're not late, Wendy. You're just joining us at the right time for you. Right, okay, so I'm going to go, I think I'm going to go Shaded Spruce, because that will help tie the Shaded Spruce ribbon in. So Shaded Spruce ink. And then, Audrey, if you can get ready to hold my hand, I would be very grateful, because I will need your help in a minute. So, there we are. So I'm not going to stick that in. I might put a tiny bit of adhesive in the middle of it, but I'm not going to stick it in, but that will go in there. Comme ça. Right. Audrey, I hope you're ready. Take my hand. I've done it. I've been brave. Look, it's not clean anymore. It's not new anymore. Anyway, it's going to have to be done, so it's been done. Right, okay, so that's our first card. So it was Wendy, who is in my team, who I said yesterday, I haven't planned what I'm doing. I've planned, Wendy. Be proud. Be proud of me. I am going to just put a tiny weeny bit of seal onto the back of this and pop it in there, just so that I know that that's got a liner. And then if by any chance I make a complete cods of writing it, I can take it out without ripping the whole card to pieces. So that's our first card. Woohoo! And it's only 11:30. I wish they still had half-size. I wish they still had half-size cases as well, Baz. I remember very well the lovely Michelle saying, "But nobody uses them," and we all went, "No, we do." Anyway, more coffee. Right. Okay. So, which one shall I do next? I'm going to do this one, I think. So this is some of the returning favourite, feels like frost paper. I've actually got 2 of these because I want to show you how you can make them look really quite different. So I've got a pretty peacock card base ready to go. We're going to go this way because obviously it's a scene. So it kind of helps if we embrace the scene. You can cut it the other way and still embrace the scene, but I'm not, so I'm going landscape. So I need to cut my paper down, or, shall I just cover I might just cover the whole of the front. I don't often cover the whole of the front, but I think for this I might, because it's a shame to cut it down, so I think I will. Right, okay, so if I look at that, do you know I haven't used the backs really, either this year or last. Anywho, so I'm going to add some seal all round the outside of my card front. I don't often do all round, but because I'm sticking straight onto the card front, all the way around the card front, so the paper is going to be literally, you know, covering the whole of the card front, I kind of do. The chamois. Simply Chamois is the name that escapes you. Yes, I could have done that, but it's going to get gicky anyway, so, you know, it's going to happen. Right, so I've lined up the base of my card with the base of a village shop, Baz. Good heavens. I will absolutely... You know what I've done, don't you? You couldn't make it up. It's because I wasn't concentrating. Happily, it's coming off. I will see you later, Baz. Well, I won't, but you can see me later. So, yes, who spotted the deliberate mistake? Happily, I hadn't actually pressed it down terribly hard. So I'm only ripping the paper a little bit. You really couldn't make it up, could you? Okay, should we try that again? Right, with the bottom of your card at the bottom of your paper, line up actually I want that corner. Good grief. See, this is why I never edit, because, you know, we all make mistakes. Anyway, have a lovely hot drink, Baz, and I love the idea of a village shop. We don't have one. We have a pub and an amazing Indian restaurant, but that's it. So, there we go. I finally got it on the right side. So, I'm just going to trim here. Now, normally, I would line up with the crease and then trim from the bottom, but obviously I want most of the seam to be seen. I want most of the seam with a C to be seen without a C. Thank you, Wendy. So yes, if I'd stuck this bit at the top, we'd have ended up with almost no trees. Phew. No, I was just going wrong, Jane. It happens. I'm too busy yakking with you lot and not concentrating on what I'm doing. So we've got, you know, a fairly useless piece left, but it's got bokeh dots, which I quite like. So let me just make sure that is well and truly pressed down. You have neither a pub nor a shop. No shop, no pub, no bus service. We don't have a bus service. Did I mention a bus service? I tell a lie. We do. Well, we don't at the moment because of COVID. We did have a bus service when we moved here 6 years, well, not quite 6 years ago. We had 2 buses. They were then stopped, and we now have 2 bus services. One runs on a Monday and one runs on a Wednesday. But where you can go to one town... So if we go into Didcot, which is not the greatest place in the world, but it's got shops. If you go into Didcot, you can get, I think you get about an hour of shopping before the bus comes back. If you go into Wallingford, which is more of a county town, it's not, but it's nearer that sort of thing. You can go in 1 week and come back the next. So not terribly helpful. You're not in a village, but you do have a corner shop. Well, that's nice. Yes, we used to have a corner shop when we were in Twickenham. Right, so enough prevaricating and stuff. Let me grab some trees. So I've got balmy blue trees, and I'm just going to pop these along here. And I'm actually going to stick them flat, and then I'm going to have a sentiment here on balmy blue, which I forgot to get out, or forgot to keep out. So, my drawer's opening and keeping going, which is never a good thing. So I've got a little bit of balmy blue there. Ooh, I've just had another thought. No, that's what I'm going to do. Ooh, change of plan. Change of plan, guys. Just for a change. Right, I'm going to embrace Pretty Peacock. So I've got my Pretty Peacock scrap thing. And, ooh, I got up too quickly. Pretty Peacock lives in the bottom drawer. That would work. Right. Okay, so I'm going to have this stuck down first with a sentiment in silver. Then I'm going to pop the tree. So I'm going to have this stuck down and not all the way. And then I'm going to have the trees. So I need silver embossing powder. And I'm using silver as much as anything because silver embossing powder is a lot finer. So if I want a small lot finer than white, which would be the other option. If you're using, ooh, I wonder if that will fit. Possibly not because this is at 85%, but we'll give it a go. The white is, oh, it will. The white is a larger grain, for want of a better word. So yeah. Ooh, and I just had a thought. Now, where did I put that? Vague connection of ideas. There we go. Just remembered something for later, that was all. Right, so this is the first time I have used this stamp. So the first thing I'm going to do is prep my stamp with an eraser, because that gets the film off. We've got a petrol garage with a shop, and recently they made space for a post office, a Chinese takeaway, a nail bar. Good grief. Good heavens. Wow, lots of places to go to in your area then, Audrey. Our village shop, which is in the next village, has the post office as well, and I went in twice last week. Yeah, Monday and Tuesday, I think. And no, it wasn't Tuesday. No, because Tuesday was the funeral. Must have been Monday and Wednesday. Anyway, I went in twice last week. So I've used Embossing Buddy because I've got Embossing Buddy, and I'm going to use it. And the second time I went in, the guy who served me, it's run by a family, and it was the son who served me the second time. I went in about 2:30 in the afternoon, and he said, I've been busier with your bag of post than I've been all day. I did have quite a lot of stuff to post, but yeah. Was it last week or was it the week before? I can't remember. Anyway, so that's silver embossing powder onto my pretty peacock. And we know what's coming. It's the cheese board and the heat gun. I like using the heat gun in this weather because it warms my hand. Only the one, you understand, because I blow it, I hold it in my right and I blow it onto my left so that I know it's warm. Okay, here we go, going in for the embossing. So I'm going to bring it up. Sorry about the noise, but then at least those people who are concerned about not being able to see it might be able to see it. So it doesn't take long. So that's that. So that will go on there. And I'm going to grab my, just see if that fits. No, you couldn't make it up, could you? Couldn't make it up. I could trim a tiny, weeny, teeny bit off. Am I feeling brave? That's the question. Probably not. So, let me grab a post-it note. And I'm going to attach, I'm going to pop that there, and then I'm going to line it up with one of the grid lines and line my bit of card up to the same grid line, and then I can pop that in here using this as the handle, as it were. So I want the smallest little bit off the edge, probably about there. Let's see if that was enough. Yes! You've got a wooden bat. Excellent. Same basic idea as my cheese board, which is, after all, it's a bit like a ping pong bat, or table tennis, I think we're supposed to call it, aren't we? Right, so I'm going to flag my end. I need to trim this down a wee bit. And pop that, I'm going to go the wrong way up, simply so that I can see, right, I can see just there the beginning of the embossing. So I can bring it back a wee bit. Probably didn't need to trim the end off. And punch. So there we've got our little flag end. And I think I've got a piece of Pretty Peacock attached to my jumper. So that's going to go there. These are going to come over the top. Yeah. So actually I'm going to use liquid adhesive, I think. So don't need much, just a bit. And I'm just using that because then I've got that little bit of wiggle room. Good grief, Fray Bentos pie. My husband likes a good Fray Bentos pie. I don't think there is such a good thing as a good Fray Bentos pie, but there we go. Yeah, Fray Bentos pies. I do remember them. I did quite like them as a kid because they were fun. Frankly, as a piece of haute cuisine, no. We have actually got one in our larder, which is slightly worrying. But anyway, so I'm going to just put glue kind of down the middle of these because life is a little too short to glue the whole thing. I might put a couple of dabs either side, so literally very small amount, and then I can pop that down there. It is a bit like a winter woodland glade, absolutely, Audrey. So then I'm going to have this one here, so coming over a wee bit, and then I'll fill the gap with the last one. So again, now obviously it took some time to do the die cutting, but not that long. You know, it's the sort of thing that you can do while you're watching stuff on Netflix or Amazon or iPlayer or whatever, you know, binge watching TV. Just pop that there so that it holds down for a bit. And then the last one, and this is going to overlap the others. I'm fine with that. Probably going to add a little bit more adhesive to these because it's going to be overlapping. So I'm going to need some of it to attach reasonably firmly. And I'm going to come down so that it looks more in the foreground. And then pop a brick on top, otherwise known as a block, to make sure everything holds down, whilst I grab my now solid chamois to clean the stamp. It's Versamark, so it's fine, it doesn't stain my stamp. Remove that and pop it back on the sheet, and that's 2 done. Coo. Wonders will never cease. Okay, so that's our second one. So we've got the nice silver greeting, but again, really simple, just using die cuts and letting the paper do its thing. I did think about using Night of Navy with this paper, but actually this is Pretty Peacock. So yeah, sorry, someone's just delivered something. It's DHL, it's not UPS. Can't watch anything or have anything on in the background. Can you not? Ooh. Ooh, okay. No, I can craft with, I actually craft better with something in the background. I think I concentrate more because I suddenly realise if I'm watching a series, and particularly if it's only half an hour long, I binged watched Emily in Paris. Emily in Paris? Emma in Paris. Anyway, that. Um, and it was really good reminder that time was going on because suddenly I would be thinking, good grief, that's the end of another episode. Right, okay, this one's going to be kind of weird. No, it's not going to be weird. It's going to be surprising, I think. So I'm going to grab a white card base. Ooh, I thought I had one actually. No, I did. It was the wrong way. So thick whisper white, and I want it landscape again. So I'm coming in and scoring at 10.5, and then at 14.8 something. And that would have been so much better. I was reading your, this is why you shouldn't do two things at once. I was reading your comments as I was doing this, and of course it didn't cut properly. B said but I'm not quite sure what the but was, but I enjoyed that show too. Oh, the Emily in Paris. It was, I only watched it because my niece keeps going on about it, and I kind of thought I ought to watch it. I thought I crafted better to music, Wendy, but apparently not. Right, so this, again, I have done some prep. This is the Pinewood, ooh, is it called Pinewood Embossing folder? Anyway, it's one of the 3D ones. Let's see if I can get the light. You see, I spend so much time trying to get rid of shadows so that you can see what I'm doing, but can you see it's got pine trees? Anyway, so we're going white on white. And again, this is going to be a really kind of straightforward card. So we're going to start with that on there. And I'm going to grab some. Which one shall I go for? Oh, actually, I quite like... I'm doing an eeny, meeny, miny, mo at the moment. That. Or... No, that. First decision was best. What media channel? It's on Netflix. It's a Netflix original. I mean, it's completely stupid. It's, you know, it's not very erudite. Right, so I've got some of the metallic edged ribbon, which I'm going to adhere onto the back in the same way as I did before. So line up my card on the grid paper, pop some Seal Plus on, line up my ribbon with a grid line. Doesn't really matter which grid line, but I think that one probably. So I'm doing the top to the 4th grid line. So the top is an inch away from the bottom. So we've then got this. I may well add another piece just here. I found it entertaining. But I think it is probably aimed at the kind of, I don't know, 20-somethings. Again, I'm going to use liquid adhesive, which I don't usually use on the ordinary Whisper White because it can show through. But because this is 3D embossed, and I don't want to use dimensionals, I'm using this so that there is a slight chance that I might pick the higher bits. Of course, B, I forgot you lived there. I don't know why I forgot, but yes. You did. Hello, Tammy. Yes. Hello from Texas. Welcome. We're using the In the Pines bundle loosely, but mostly the dies. So all I've got so far is the Pinewood 3D embossing folder. As I say, I've so carefully got my lights set up so that they don't cast a shadow, but I now can't show it properly. What camera do I use for filming for this? This is just a webcam. For my YouTubes, I use my point and shoot. It's a Panasonic Lumix. It's the second one of these that I've had. The first one ended up dying when I smashed it against a wall accidentally. So yes, so this is a webcam. It's a Papalook, P-A-P-A-L-O-O-K, Papalook webcam. It was about the third one I tried. I got it from Amazon. Each one I tried was more expensive than the previous one, inevitably. So, yes. So I've got white on white. And the reason I've chosen this one is it's not too wide angle. The problem with a lot of webcams is that they are wide angle because they're made for conferencing. And if you have a wide angle on your webcam, everything fisheyes at the edges. So for crafting, it's useless. I mean, the first one was so fisheyed that the only bit that was in proper focus was this bit here. And the grid paper, I kid you not, kind of looked like it bowed out. It was ridiculous. So I've got the large die, and I've done 3 layers of it. I've only got 1 layer of each of the small dies, and I'm just going to have these here. And again, I'm going to have the 2 small ones slightly up. In fact, I may tuck those underneath the ribbon and just have this one on top. And then I am going to put some snowflakes on, because if I can find them, because I keep forgetting to use my adhesive backed snowflakes. I say if I can find them, I had them. Let me see where I have hidden them. I'm prepping for one of my classes in the mail, and it uses the snowflakes, and I had it all strewn across my workspace, and then I moved it. I can't remember where I put them. They may have been put away, of course. Let's assume they've been put away. Right, so same again. I am going to add liquid adhesive to the spine of my trees. And I will add some to the branches as well, because we're sticking onto a 3D embossed item, and therefore we need something to actually adhere. Now, because I'm going under the ribbon, that's going to help, but not totally. I'll come up a wee bit. There we go. So that's going to just look like more of the embossed area. And then I'm going to do the same again with this one. So, as I say, I'm being a little more generous with this than when I was going on to the DSP, because I'm onto a 3D surface. So I need to make sure that glue actually has a chance of hitting the surface. So this one I'm going to go here, and I'm just going to bring in a couple of blocks whilst I see if I can find my snowflakes. I do suspect that I put them away, or rather didn't put them away. No, I've tidied them up, which is always a problem. Let me just have a quick look to see if I've buried them on my desk, or whether I did move them with all the stuff for the class. Oh, there we are. Found them. So that's good. You mentioned the adhesive sheets. You find here in South Texas the sheets are difficult to use with the humidity so high. Oh. It is quite humid where we are, Tammy, but in a damp way. We get cold and damp. I find that the adhesive sheets actually work fine. So, yeah, I'm guessing you didn't like snail. Would that be a reasonable thing to say? Because I know a lot of people didn't get on with snail because of the humidity. I would be one of those. I really didn't like snail. I have still got a roll of snail left, as in a complete snail. In fact, I may have two. But no, it's not a problem I've found with the adhesive sheets. Oh, you didn't have a problem with snail. Okay. That surprises me, because I thought that was a humidity issue. So again, I'm going to pop that under there for a little bit. But no, I don't have the problem with the adhesive sheets. If anything, I have the opposite problem. They are so tacky that I stick to them. I have to say for this, I didn't use the adhesive sheets. I used glue. I'm a great fan of liquid glue. Right, so these come in Just Jade and Iridescent. I honestly hadn't realised that these ones are Just Jade. I think they are actually just a slightly different iridescent. So don't get hung up on them being Just Jade. They are definitely different from the other ones, but well, there we are. Take your pick. The Take Your Pick was put away, and of course I then used it. So it's not where it was. So I'm just going to blob some on. Any old where, really. Oh, I've just had a thought. Oh no, that's fine. So the parcel that has been left, which I think is one of my advent calendars. The Xyron works fabulously for you. Okay, I would have said it was a very similar adhesive. But at least if it works for you, that's good. So yeah, the parcel that's been left, which is one of my advent calendars. I'm a great fan of food-based advent calendars. Thank you. You may. That's very sweet of you. So yes, where he's left them outside my craft room, it's undercover, but there is one area that drips when it's wet. But fortunately, he's popped it somewhere where there isn't a drip. So that's fine, because food-based advent calendars and damp don't necessarily go together. So there we go. So white on white, really simple. And just a reminder for those of you who joined late, do remember that if you share the video either here or on YouTube or both, you get entered into the draw for not chocolate, Jen, no. Surprisingly, it's not a chocolate advent calendar. Can't think why. A gin advent calendar. I would love a gin advent calendar. My husband has not taken the hint, however. Right, okay, so we're going to completely different now. And I mean completely different. So, early espresso, card base. And I am going to, I haven't scored this, but okay, I'm going to come back a bit. So, card. Thank you, Claire. You also use the adhesive post labels, yeah? Yes. Thank you, everyone. So, early espresso. Right. I haven't scored this. Now, when you look at a piece of card, let me grab a piece of card. This works best with a 12 by 12. Now, I have done this before, but not for a while. So, card has a grain, for want of a better word. So if you hold a piece of card, and as I say, 12 by 12 works best because it's the same size in all directions. But when you bounce a piece of card, you will find that one way bounces easier than the other, as in one way or the other way. So, and it's the same now, whether it's the same in North America as it is in UK, I don't know. But it's the same on all of the colours of card that we use on with Stampin' Up. So this way actually has more resistance than this way. So if I'm doing a long thin card, I will always score, because otherwise you can crack the back of your card. This way, however, I am quite happy to just line up the edges and press, and there is no cracking. Now you're not going to be able to see that there's no cracking, but trust me, there is no cracking. I'm still going to need to do that, but if I was to fold a piece of card the other way, and I don't think I've got any that I haven't scored that I can show you on. No, those all look scored. But trust me, you do not want to fold your card that way without scoring it. You will get a crinkled edge. You can flatten it out if you have a really good go with your bone folder, but you will get a crinkled edge. Okay, so early espresso, and yes, we're going to be making a Christmas card. So I have another piece of early espresso, which I have run through the Pinewood's embossing folder. The reason I go ooh is because the back's actually quite nice as well. Anyway, this is the front. Now, can you? Yeah, you can just about see it. So this is exactly the same as the last one. So it's going to be tone on tone. And this one I'm actually going to pop up. And what was I going to put on it? Was I going to put anything on it? I don't think I was, but actually looking, I quite like this. I'm quite liking that, or no, that's for the next one. Yeah, we've just about got time for this and one more. I like that. I'm going to go that way. And because we didn't put a tie on the other one, I'm going to put a tie on this one, I think. Right. Oh, maybe not. Anywho, so I need that much. And we're going to stick this to the back of our piece of card again. So I love this trim. It's from the Beautiful Autumn combo. It's gorgeous. It's a really nice copper. So again, this card is not straight. Sorry. It's doing my head in. Right, so yes, there you go, Audrey. There is a right way and a wrong way. Yeah, I didn't cut this straight. Good grief. Definitely skew width. That should be better. Right. So I've just taken the hair off because it wasn't straight. Okay. And I do find that the guillotine is brilliant for that. Right, so let's line this up. That's the front. So yes, on A4 the grain is the long way. I think I did it as a Top Tip Tuesday ages ago, in the days when I did Top Tip Tuesday. Maybe I ought to do Top Tip Tuesday again. I need a bit more than that because it didn't allow for the fact this is a shorter piece of ribbon. So that goes there, and then this one comes down to there, and actually I'm going to go this way because it just makes more sense somehow. And we're lining up to the bottom there. Right, okay, so there we go. It is straight, it's just the ribbon's bent. It's bowed. Yes, I say it's straight. Lined up. No, it's not. Dear, oh dear. That's better. Right, so I'm going to put dimensionals on the back, and we're going black because it's early espresso, except I've buried them. So yes, it does make a huge difference to whether you score your card or not. Now, I am going to put a dimensional over the ribbon purely because I want there to be a second layer of adhesive. I wouldn't normally. I'm so pleased you found them enjoyable. The problem with Top Tip Tuesday is kind of coming up with a tip. I will see if I can instigate it again. Because it's Tuesday and it's the same day as the Spot Challenge videos go live, I could fill that in with a top tip. So, yeah, we might have a go at that. We might bring back Top Tip Tuesday. So, oh, while I remember, from November, so next week, because the 1st of November is on Sunday, and it's my birthday, and I have already received some, what I'm assuming are birthday cards from some of you lovely folk, and I'm trying to be good and not open them until my birthday, but I will do a review of cards that I have had, birthday cards that I've had next Tuesday. So thank you for those of you who have sent them. So yes, from November, I'm going to start doing card packs. So, and I know this won't help those of you who are overseas. Well, thank you, Tammy. The thing is for me to remember them. So for those of you overseas, this won't help much. But for those of you in the UK, what I'm going to do is have a host code. Right, so these are die cut with the brushed metallic foils. So I'm going to have a host code specifically for my Facebook Lives. And if you use that host code and spend, and I'll give you the details next week, but a certain amount, I will then post you the card packs, which means I'm going to have to prep. I'm going to have to plan what I'm doing. But yes, so if I'll give you some time to put an order in using that specific host code, which will be different from the month host code. And then I'll send out the card packs. So just thought I would let you know that that is going to be coming. So again, I'm just going to use some liquid adhesive. If it would like to start rolling, that would be lovely. And then I think we'll do maybe one more. I have prepped about 10, but I'm not going to show you 10. I think 5 is probably more than enough. We've done 4. This is my 4th. So, and again, I'm putting on slightly more adhesive than I would normally because it's embossed, as in the background is embossed. And I'm going, should I go under or over? I think I might go, no, I'm going to go over. I used to be indecisive and now I just give up. Okay, so let's pop that on there. So there is some vague hope it might stick. And what I think I'll do with all the other bits that I've prepped is maybe do that for Friday's post. So I've already got posts lined up for, this will go live on Wednesday. So tomorrow I'll upload this ready for YouTube on Wednesday. Friday at the moment has a slot. So I might use the rest of the versions that I've prepped for that slot. And then we've got Simple Stamping Saturday. Haven't done anything for prepping for that yet, so might do autumn for Saturday because I haven't done autumn for a while. Right, these are going to need a lot of holding down. That's desperately trying to lift up. I'm sticking it over ribbon, so it really doesn't surprise me. Actually, I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of this one because that's going to be in front. So I'm going to grab my mini dimensionals because it gives you the lovely wide. The mini dimensionals have this lovely wide edge, which means you can cut a thin strip really easily. So I can pop this as far as I can get it without it showing. Yep, no, it's not showing. So these scissors I keep for sticky things. And then I can add in some other little bits here and there. I'll take a little bit, because none of the solid areas are quite large enough for a whole mini dimensional, really. So cutting a strip and just cutting it down as you need it is quite a good way of getting it in place. That will take a nice wide or long piece. That's probably all I need for that. So pop that down again, peel these off. So I will try and think up some top tips. It's not the easiest thing to think up because I don't necessarily think of them as a tip. One of my first videos that kind of went, in inverted commas, viral was how to clean your Stampin' Scrub, which just bemused me. We then got into the whole conversation about what an airing cupboard was. So that was amusing. But yeah, what is an airing cupboard? And for those of you who don't know what an airing cupboard is, it's somewhere, it's a cupboard that normally has your boiler in it, and you use the residual heat to... Well, there you are, Nora. They are gorgeous, the dies. I mean, the stamp set's lovely, but the dies are, pardon the pun, to die for. But yes, so an airing cupboard is for airing clothes. So it's if things have come out of the tumble dryer or, you know, off the line and they're still not dry, but, you know, and just need to be properly dry, you'd put them in the airing cupboard. Quite often linen lives in an airing cupboard. So I'm just trimming this on an angle, pop that away, and 12:15. Do you want me to do another card or not? Up to you. So this does, I'm going to leave blocks on these for a bit, just to stick them down, but there we are, there's this one. So don't always think traditional colours. Probably need a dimensional under there, just there. I think I might need a dimensional. Let's do a retrofit dimensional. So retrofitting dimensionals. So I will do this always. I'm thinking always another card. Right, okay, so we'll do another card. So retrofitting a dimensional, take off both bits and then lift up and press down. So you just squish it under. For some reason this end's all right. Right, okay, one more card. Oh, no pressure. Oh, actually, no, that's quite useful because I did prep some other bits. So this is a piece of the Most Wonderful Time card, and I have die cut some felt using the two bits of the two dies out of the die kit. Sorry, there's a bit of ick on there. So I'm thinking we can have these, and these have got the adhesive sheet on the back. Usually have wooden slatted shelves too. Yes, they do normally have wooden slatted shelves. You're absolutely right. To help the air circulate. So I've die cut some bits of the felt with the dies from the same die set. So I'm thinking I'm going to have die banks or snow banks. I do need to trim this piece of card down. It's got the stripes on the back. So the colours are Old Olive and Real Red. We used this in my team retreat All of the team got a half pack of the refill pack to play with, and I have to say they came up with some amazing things. So that was 5 5/8. Is this 3 7/8? No, but it will be. Okay, so this is my what I would call my standard size mat. Do I want to go one smaller? No, I think what I'm going to do... No, that's not the right colour. Ew, that's nasty. Just seeing what card I have already prepped for card bases. Ew, no, that's not it. So none of the colours that are in that pack. Okay, so I'm thinking I might go Old Olive, so we'll have tone on tone. So, Old Olive. Or shall I go? Ooh, decisions. No, I'm going to go Real Red. Just as a contrast. So this is the way that I would... In fact, I'm going to show you why I would do it. Right, okay, so I am going to cut this at 10.5 centimetres. So this is now the size of a card base if you're going to have it top folding. And of course it's not going to work this time, or it is going to work this time. So I'm going to fold this without scoring. So I'm lining up. Oh, it's happening already. I love it. Can you see? I haven't even started properly and it's already cracking. Can you see? And it's not folding nicely, which the other one did. So, yeah. Now I'm going to persevere with it because you can just about get away with it with your bone folder, if you haven't buried your bone folder, of course. This is ridiculous. You see, I got it out, so I know I had it out under there. Right, so I'm going to go for it. So I have managed, because I used my bone folder, to get away with it. But, yeah, if you just fold it, like I did with the early espresso, it will crack. So we've got our Real Red card base. We've got a piece of the... That's not right. That is so not 5 5/8. Right, let's try that again. That was 5 7/8, I think. Right. Okay, so this is now the size for my standard size mat. I haven't even folded that straight. Better. Right, so this is my standard size mat. I've got the festive felt, which I've got adhesive on the back. Did you happen to get the dandy? Yes, I did. What do you think of the DSP You're Not Keen? I love it. Sorry, love it. But, you know, we can't all like the same thing. That is kind of the whole point. So, okay. I put adhesive strip on the back of both, but I'm not convinced I'm going to use it on the back of both. So I'm going to pop that one. That one's going to go there. This one's going to go behind it. And it needs to go about there. So it needs to go... Let me just grab a pencil, because I was being very mean with my felt. So, now you see, I like it. Now, I love the stamp set as well. Now, this, for those of you who are not demonstrators, is something that we've got on pre-order. We've got an event coming up in, gosh, just over a week. That is our, normally it would be an in-person event, but obviously it's not. And we've been able to order some stuff from the new mini catalogue to use at the event. And it's the Dandy Garden, which is why people are talking about it. Now, I'm not going to show it to you because for those of you who are not demonstrators, I don't think it's kind. but it has got a definite look to it, and I think it is one of those things you either love or don't love. And for those of you in my team who I made that reference to a stamp set, good job, there are two sides. I made a reference to a hand set, a stamp set it's similar to, and it is hand-drawn blooms. The stamp set is similar. Thank you. I'm not glad I'm not the only one, Renee. Do you have trouble with the adhesive sheets separating from the felt? No. I did actually run it through the die cutter after I had stuck the adhesive on. So I guess I did double check. Actually, you know, I don't think that is going to need to be. So, no. It is Marmite DSP. Absolutely. I love it. It is very different from anything that we've had for a while. Which I think is why one of the reasons I like it, because I like different. So I've got two snowbanks, possibly not great to have had. In fact, I might stick a snowbank over a snow. Oh, we could have. Ooh, no. Probably not the best idea to have done that. In fact, can I peel it off? Yes, I can. What I'm going to do is sacrilege, but I'm doing it anyway. I'm going to stick another piece. I don't like the dent. And there's a dent if I just leave it. That's not straight. Oh well, it's going to have to be. Right, so I'm just pushing this piece down so that I don't have a dent. And Audrey doesn't like felt. I forgot you don't like felt, Audrey. Sorry. Of course, you could just use card instead, but I wanted the texture because this is actually going to be quite a simple card. So I wanted there to be something extra. So I'm using my sticky scissors because I'm cutting away felt that has got the adhesive sheet on the back, because my first piece of felt was not long enough because I was being mean with the felt. Right, okay, so this can now go straight over here without the lump. And then I can just simply trim these sides off this and off this. And I'm going to be mean in that I'm not going to show you, well, I have, rather. I was going to say I'm not going to show you what I'm sticking on it, but I have, because they're in shot. Hey-ho. Right, so I am going to make sure that it sticks by, you know, rubbing it with a bone folder. I think we do need to just make sure that these things stick. So we've got our basic card there. Then I'm going to have a tree and a tree, because there's no point in having snowbanks unless we're going to have snowbanks. And then I've got this ribbon, which is from, I can't remember which, but it's the August, December. So which ribbon is it from? It is from, oh, it's from the Wonder of the Season, which is the same one as the Shaded Spruce. Good heavens, I've actually used the same thing twice. So I'm going to wrap this around the bottom of the card quite a lot and then tie it. So I'm going to do that first. So now, there is in the Forever Greenery suite, there is a gold trim as well. That is very fine threads that are just twisted together. This is plaited in some way. So whereas the one from the annual catalogue will fray the moment you breathe on it, this won't. So if you're wanting something that doesn't fray as easily, you want this. So, in fact, that needs to all move around a bit. Let's do the cheats way of moving it. There we go. Right, so that's going to help things stay down with a block. And I'm just going to tie this in a knot. I'm not going going for a bow, I'm going for a knot. Not sure about the ladybirds either. Oh, I love the ladybirds. I saw someone has coloured them with real red blend. I'll possibly cut this a little short. I always say you should leave your ribbons attached to the reel until you do the final cut. This is why. And 3 hands is really helpful. Okay, got there, I think. Yep, right. That will sort itself out in a moment. Okay, so we've got our granny knot. That is so a granny knot. Oh well. I'm not going to untie it. It's going to just be what it is. Actually, no, it's not a granny knot. It's just a thread. So I've got that wrapped around just at the bottom of the dip of the snowbank. And then I'm going to add a piece of just ordinary sticky tape just to help hold that in place. Like that. I will trim the ends of this. This I'm just going to add straight onto the front of the card, I think. Yep. So I'm going to seal it. I'll probably use Seal Plus at the bottom purely because it's got more bulk. So we'll seal. And then Seal Plus for the sake of the bulk. Let's get that. Oops! Okay, that was interesting. Designer Series paper ripping off its backing. Okay, that's because I was right on the edge of the piece of paper. It's fine, it's behind a snowbank anyway, so I'm really not worried. Not ideal, but not worried. So let's just go that way. And there. Okay, so now all I've got to do is stick it down. I wondered if you could do that with just... yes. But yeah, I have seen a picture of someone who has coloured them with red blend. Yes, I think it's red. It may be Poppy Parade, but I think it was real red. So there we are. That's that. Then all I've got to do is add the trees, and we're kind of done. I'd rather that didn't go quite at such an alarming angle. Can I get my knot to do something that I want it to do? Not really. Okay, we're going to be doing a little bit of a cheat under that. It's not really a cheat. It's just making it do what I want it to do. So I'm going to take a mini glue dot and kind of fold it in half-ish and pop it under there to try and make the knot go at an angle. And it's worked! Okay, so let's trim the ends so we know where we are. And then I will add some adhesive to the back of this, and then we can do prize draw. Right. I've given it some willy. Okay, so adhesive on the back of these. Now, part of the reason that these don't like adhering is because the foil is, it's an interesting surface, the back of foil. So I'm not that surprised. No, I will go there. I'm not that surprised that it didn't want to stick properly to the early espresso. It seems to be okay now though. Right, and this one, again, all the way down the middle, and I'm definitely going to put adhesive on the bottom here because that's going onto the felt, so it needs a little bit of help. And then, because this is going there, And again, I'm going to pop a block or two on top, whilst we have a quick recap of the cards, and then we will do Prize Patrol and the spot. So we started with, let me get them in the right order. So our first card was this one, using the red and green foil, and a background from the Most Wonderful Time medley refill. Thank you, Audrey. So that's this one with shaded spruce and real red on a basic black card. Then we went on to the Feels Like Frost. So this is Balmy Blue and Pretty Peacock. And you'll remember this is the one where I stuck the DSP on the wrong way around and had to peel it off again. And with some silver embossing, and that is from the stamp set. I think it's the only stamping that I've done today. So that's that. Then we went white on white. Now I will, as ever, have photographs of this on my blog tomorrow, so you should be able to see them more clearly. Then we went completely off-piste with Early Espresso and all of the foils from the brushed foil and this lovely trim from the autumn trim pack. You love the second one. Thank you, Wendy. So this one. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the final one, which is still drying, is this one. Oh, we did do some more stamping because I put a liner in that card. Woohoo! And this still doesn't want to sit perfectly because I didn't score. Just saying. So that was the final one. Right, okay, so prize time. Actually, no, I'm going to do the spot first. So the spot is a sketch this week. It's already gone live. It went live at 11 this morning because of the changes in clocks between the US and the UK. So this is my card for the spot challenge, and it is a sketch, and I've just fussy cut some of the houses, or buildings I should say, from the Trimming the Town DSP, and then at the bottom I've heat embossed. And this is where I was saying that the white embossing powder is a thicker grain than the silver. So I put Versamark, just brushed Versamark on the edge, you know, with the pad, just kind of attached it. So I put the white on first, and then before I heat embossed, I put the silver in, which helped to bring it through. I think I'm going to use your ideas to do my personal. I'm brilliant. Absolutely. So there we are. So that's the spot this week. It would be great if some of you would take part in the spot. You can use Instagram to enter. You don't have to have a blog, but if you have a blog, please use that. So the prize for the 13th of October, unlucky for some, is the All Adorned stamp set, or if you're overseas, any of my digital tutorials other than the mega bundles. So from that website. And the winner is, and she was on, I don't know if she still is, Rose Briscoe. And I have a suspicion, Rose, you're overseas. But if you send me a private message and confirm that and let me know whether you want the stamp set if you're in the UK or which tutorial you want if you're overseas, that would be great. And then the prize for this week is the Sending You Thoughts stamp set, which was one of the celebration sets at the beginning of the year. It's got lots of lovely sentiments, not Christmas, I'm afraid, but it's still a nice set. So that will be drawn in 2 weeks' time. Share Facebook, share YouTube, and you get an entry for each time you share. And that's it. We're done. So apart from my usual having to take 5 goes to end the live, thank you very much indeed for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the In the Pines cards. That's the word I'm looking for. I hope I've shown that you can do, just with some die cutting, you can actually make some really stunning cards. I mean, a bit of die cutting, a bit of just embossing, as in 3D emboss, you know, the embossing folders. You really, thank you, Lorna. you really don't need to go, you know, you don't need to do much more than just put a few bits of dies, a few pieces of die cutting onto a card, and you get some really interesting cards. Anywho, thank you very much indeed. I will see you hopefully in a week, and I will see if I can start Top Tip Tuesday again. And do remember that from November, thank you, Nora. From November, I will be, so next week, I will be sending out card packs for the cards that I make on the video. There'll be 3 or 4 cards included in that. And that's if you're in the UK and if you order using the specific host code. So thank you, Rose. Thank you very much indeed, and I will see you again next week. And now do the 5 ending the live videos. There's 1,